on EA Sports. And the question is, are you ready for some football? Who knows what we're in store for here? All that and more coming up next.
The onset of fall weather, certainly a welcome occurrence for folks in Silicon Valley, and we've got football on a gorgeous day here in Santa Clara as we are situated at Levi's Stadium. Alongside Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gaudin, and Charles, kickoff moments away. Quickly, what are you watching in this one?
The offensive line for both teams, because both teams have a terrific pass rush. They've got to keep their passers upright. If they have a chance to do that, they can both thrive on offense and move the ball downfield.
The kicker, Graham Gano, set to put his foot into this one. And we are underway from Santa Clara. And they'll get him down inside the 30 at the 27. So here's the first drive now for the 49ers. And they'll be led out by their third-year quarterback.
And you'd think as a young QB there'd be some nerves leading an offense out to start a game, but haven't seen any sign of them right now. And speaking with him earlier this week, sensed that the pressure wouldn't get to him. He feels comfortable being the face of this offense and shouldering the expectations on game day, even if he doesn't quite have the years of experience other quarterbacks do.
First play, and Purdy wants to throw it. Got a man right side, it's McCaffrey. And they're able to get this one across the 35. 11 yards there on the first play from scrimmage.
Nice little nifty play for him there. That's the ability to read a defense and utilize players that don't often get picked up in coverage easily. And I'm talking about being able to use the backs out of the backfield. Because I know that when I used to cover, hey, we got everybody oh, he just snuck out there, and they just got a nice first down there.
What do we love to say? Get those backs into space, right? And they were able to do that there. Nice pickup on first down. It's a 7-yard carry to set them up with a 2nd and 3.
A nice run here early on. It doesn't take a great play caller to realize you want to establish a guy of his caliber with runs like this early because they will pay dividends as the game progresses.
Ball spotted at the 45. Here's 2nd and 3. Purdy. All in all, no gain on the play, and it'll bring up 3rd.
But one of the things we talked about coming into this one is that we were never going to question the fight that he's going to have for all 4 quarters of a game. But ideally, you want him fighting for big plays and first downs early, not fighting just to get back to the line of scrimmage, as we saw right there.
They'll come up now, 3rd and 3. Here's Purdy. Pass taken in by his big tight end. And he is going to have a 49ers first down, and he was able to get it by plenty. A gain of 8 on 3rd and 3. Well, on 3rd down, he wanted to go to one of his most dependable targets, and that's who he found, his tight end there, to pick up the first, Charles.
And you use a proper word there, dependable, and sometimes spectacular, because tight ends nowadays, they can do it all. But they're the guys you trust, especially across the middle of the field where there's traffic. He delivers, and they pick up nice yardage.
And he is going to be stopped cold behind the line of scrimmage. He'll lose a yard there, and it's 2nd and 11. We talk about defenders, specifically linebackers, keeping their eyes in the right spot. He had that eye down the entire time.
And you know that's not easily done because they throw a lot of misdirection at you. They try and fool you and get your eyes in the wrong place. But you're right about that one. He correctly figured that one out and made a really nice play.
And that'll be off the mark, too far out in front, and it's incomplete. A little too much air under that one. That could have easily been 6 points.
Yeah, with the kind of speed he has, it's almost impossible, we think, to actually overthrow him. But he did exactly that. I think he probably tried to get it out there maybe just a little bit too quickly.
Back to throw, Purdy. Now that's to the left sideline and incomplete.
Yeah, it's still early in the game. No sense taking a chance on 3rd down and forcing one into traffic. So I like the wise play he made there. Get it to the sideline out of bounds where no one's going to have a chance at it.
On fourth down, the Niners trot out Mitch Wisnowski to punt the football. And this one hits at the 1, continues on into the end zone for a touchback. So here are the Giants ready to start their initial drive of the game. They will be led by a second-round pick in 2019. Out of Missouri, it's Drew Lock.
And I think that everyone is looking forward to seeing Drew Lock take the next step in the quarterback evolutionary process. Decision-making is something that he's working on improving because he's got plenty of arm and makes excellent off-platform throws. What he's seeking now, to be consistent in all of his processes.
Officially, it's a 1-yard loss. That's going to bring up 2nd and 11.
And that's exactly what offenses try to avoid by using motion and throwing different formations up. They hate when he can draw a bead on the play, get a running start, and make a big play behind the line of scrimmage as he did just there.
Catch made by Slayton. 2 yards on the pickup there. And that brings up 3rd and a full 10 yards.
The goal of a wide receiver screen is get enough blockers in front to create a wall and let him pick his spot to run the football. How about the defense there, swarming to it and not allowing that to happen? Did not let him get downfield.
Still needing 10 yards. Now it's 3rd down. They look to throw. It's Lock. He's got his target. That's complete. And he'll be taken down, but not before they work it across midfield. It'll go as an impressive 31-yard gain.
A very early momentum changer there. Actually a dream killer for the defense because they forced a 3rd down. Felt like they had a good chance to get off the field defensively, and then they got hit with that big play.
So from inside Niner territory now, this is 1st and 10 at the 49-yard line. Lock now to throw. That's complete to Slayton. And he's going to get a solid gain of 9 before being brought down. 2nd and right at a yard. Well, that's not just his first, not his second, already his 3rd completion here on the opening drive. And I think it's safe to say that getting him the ball in this game, one of their top priorities.
And the top priority for the defense has got to be finding ways to cover him. And I don't think you can have one basic coverage to get it done. You have to throw a number of coverages at him, make him think as he's running downfield, and hope you can create a little bit of havoc.
Able to get the 1 yard he needed, but nothing more.
2nd and 1, and people want to run the football. This is where every back in the league is supposed to do exactly what we just saw there, pick up the 1st down.
So here's a 1st and 10 at the 38. Lock going to throw. As this complete to Daniel Bellinger. And he gets it down a yard or 2 shy of the 30 before he's out of bounds. That'll go for a gain of 7, and that'll make it 2nd down. But yet another completion here on this opening drive, and he's now perfect 4 of 4 to start. Pretty solid execution here.
And how about how everyone's handled their nerves? Because you know what it's like to start a ball game. You're so amped up and ready to go that sometimes the execution isn't there. They've been flawless so far. Well drilled, well prepared, and excited to start this game.
All right, rifles one, and that's going to be intercepted. Picked up by Diamador Lenore. And the 49ers are going to have it here as they'll start at their own 24-yard line.
Oh, timing is everything on a route like this. He tried to drive that football into a tight spot. And if you're a little early or a little late, chances are there's going to be someone there. And sure enough, this one's going the other way.
Back out there comes the 49ers offense ready for their 2nd drive. Over on the sideline, hoping to hit that reset button between possessions. Last time out, they had to punt it away. This time, hoping to finish this thing off in the end zone. Now Purdy. Gets this one to Juszczyk. And the result here, a pickup of 8. Leaves him with 2 to go on 2nd down.
Good, sure hands there from a guy not accustomed to catching a whole lot of passes. But how about the way he was able to pull that one in and pick up good yardage?
The ball on the 32. It's 2nd and 2. Purdy now to throw. Connects with Kittle underneath. And he's out of bounds, able to take this one up to the 35. They'll get 3 as the drive continues. It's a first down.
And the tight end is certainly a position built to move the chains because they can control space underneath. If they've got good hands, then, of course, they're a dynamic target. But one other thing is they're right in the sight lines of a quarterback on just about every play, and that makes it easier for the quarterback to pick him out and deliver.
2 yards on the carry there. It'll be second down.
That was a pretty good job defensively to hold him to a 2-yard run, but I've got to think this offensive line, they're asking their quarterback for a different type of a run, one that they rely on, one they have confidence in, one they feel like they can block.
Shotgun now with Purdy. Man open, that's Deebo Samuel. And he'll be out of bounds up near the 45 at the 44.
People worry about throwing the out route because often it can get jumped, and that can turn into either an incompletion or an interception. But not on that one. Everything came together, and he catches it and goes over the sideline.
3rd down and 1. Out of the gun, Purdy. That is caught. Down the numbers. There he goes. Touchdown, 49ers. Brandon Ayuk, 56 yards. And the 49ers take the early turnover and convert it into an opening touchdown. As a former DB, you might not like to see that, but from a wide receiver's perspective, those are the plays they dream of.
Correct on both counts, all right? Because once he took off, I mean, let's face it, that should have been done in Big Sky Country. Aren't any speed limits out there? And off he went. Glad I wasn't the one trying to chase him.
Jake Moody now for the point after. And the 49ers grab a 7-0 lead. 5 plays there on that drive. And it was Brandon Ayuk capping it off with a touchdown reception. So following the touchdown, here's Moody back out to send it away. And he takes this near the 25. Just a little pass there. Call it the 26. So the Giants getting the football back here for their second drive. They threw an interception the first time they had the football, wound up leading to a touchdown the other way. How do you approach drive number 2?
Going back to your game plan coming in, everyone has matchups that they like better than others. Where they think they have an advantage, dial up some of those plays. Try and go to those spots and get your offense moving.
Nick Bosa able to collapse the pocket, get to him, and drop him for a loss of a yard.
Well, they got a takeaway on the last drive with an interception. How about this sack as a terrific follow-up? And that keeps pressure on this offense, and it could force them into more rush decisions or another turnover.
After the sack, here's 2nd and 11. To throw it is Locke. And his throw's going to be incomplete.
So many times when we talk about coverage, we're just about a defender running with a receiver, but a big part of it is understanding where the football is, finding it. In this case, when it arrived, it wasn't a surprise, and he was able to bat it away.
An incomplete pass on that last play, and that means they'll need to come up with something here on 3rd down. Now Locke. And the Niners get there and bring him down. Nick Bosa, now 2 sacks for him already here in this first quarter of play.
Now that was a passer's nightmare. The front door totally shut down by the defense, so he kept going backwards, hoping to find another avenue of escape. It didn't exist.
On 4th down, Jamie Gillen on to punt for the Giants. A 41-yard punt there with no return. And the Niners will go on offense, 1st and 10. San Francisco's offense returns to the field. They've got a 7-0 lead in the football as well as they start out 1st and 10. They start on the ground with McCaffrey. Looking to find a lane, but he can't. Reined in at the line of scrimmage. Bobby Okereke making that tackle.
Defensively, we always know that he is tough in run support, and I think the way that he gets there is he understands what an offense is going to do before the ball's even snapped. A great job of scouting prior to the game, then reading, reacting, and taking the right path to the ball carrier.
Open man is Samuel, complete. And he'll be taken down, but not before he works it past the 50. Second catch for him today, and it'll wind up a 1st down.
I think that's a big pickup for a 1st down because when you run a drag route against zone, you're sometimes asking for trouble because you might run into a defender.
Yeah, well, there they ran into a 1st down, executed it to perfection. Purdy looking to throw. Connects with Kittle underneath. It'll be a gain of 5, and it'll be 2nd down.
The completion was given up, but that's why you play zone defense, so that you can have people around the ball when it's caught, and you don't give up much run after the catch.
Ball at the 40 here for 2nd and 5. Shotgun handoff now to McCaffrey. And he's going to be met at the line of scrimmage and taken down. They'll say no gain on the play there, and now it'll be 3rd down.
The running lanes have definitely not been there for him here in the 1st half, and I don't think it's all been his fault. His offensive line hasn't given him much space. A loss results there.
Here is 3rd and 5. Purdy will set up to throw it here. Able to find the open man. That's complete. And he is out of bounds, but first he gets it inside the 10 to the 7. They're able to convert on 3rd down, and that sets up a 1st and goal.
Despite writing it down on my notes, I never give enough credit to the offensive line, and we have to here. The protection, that's what made this play a success. Quarterback had to wait for his crossing route to develop, and that takes a little bit of extra time. Excellent job by the big fellas up front.
Now a chance to make that big play really hurt. It's 1st and goal just outside the 5. That's caught out right by Jennings. Down at the 2. Broke through first contact, but ultimately stopped shy of the goal line. That's good for a gain of 6, 2nd and goal. Throwing here, Purdy. And he's left with no option here but to throw it away.
I see the surprise in your face there, partner. That is a rare incompletion from him. He's been on point this entire game.
He has percentage completion-wise way up, not that time. They've been denied touchdowns in the red zone twice already. Here comes 3rd and goal. Here's Samuel. And across the goal line, into the end zone, touchdown 49ers. Deebo Samuel taking it in from 2 yards out. And the 49ers are off to a 13-0 first quarter lead. This feels like something we'd see more commonly, CD, in a college game. They give it to the receiver down here in the red zone, but it winds up successful.
Yeah, partner, I think you'd think it's less likely to find running space to the edge down here close to the end zone where things are so condensed. But a lot of times you end up focusing on the running backs, and they're able to slip it to the receiver, and it resulted in a touchdown.
Moody good with the extra point, and it's now 14-0. So that drive goes 8 plays, and it's culminated by a 2-yard touchdown run. So after the made field goal by Moody, he's back out to kick this one away. And they will wrangle him down a couple yards shy of the 30. And possession switching back to the New York Giants. They've been outplayed early, no question. Down 14-0 already as they come up 1st and 10. Here's Locke to throw. Pass is caught by Wan'Dale Robinson. And to the 36-yard line, taken down there after getting 8 yards.
Well, it's time for them to be good teammates right here. And what I mean by that is possess the ball for a little while. Get at least 2 first downs. Give their defense a chance to settle down a little bit after they give up a touchdown.
Straight ahead, here's Tracy. And this will be a Giants first down as he's able to get this up past the 40. Well, you're down early. How do you get back in the game? Maybe establish the run. I think they're trying to do that.
Now, I'm with you on that one, and what I like about the message is that there's no panic from the head coach. He's already told his offensive coordinator, let's run the football, let's get things settled down a little bit and find our way back into this game.
Tracy going to get it on first down, and he's going to take this ahead for right around 3 yards, but no more than that. 2nd down.
Yeah, I don't know if it's exactly a win-win, but if you're on offense, you'll take that kind of a run, all right? It was kind of stacked up, found a little bit of yardage, and frankly, they're pretty close to staying on schedule on offense. The playbook is still open for the coordinator.
They'll go again with Tracy, and that didn't fool anybody. He's going to be dropped in the backfield. Now they're staring at a 3rd and 8. That last play, backwards a yard.
What do you think, Brandon? I like the intensity this defense is showing right here in these first few drives. They're not just holding the line because they're doing their job, but they're doing more than that, aren't they? They're getting a nice push into the offensive backfield.
And a great example right there for the loss on the tackle. Here's Locke. And down he goes. The 49ers get there. Nick Bosa, what a start to this ball game. Still in the first quarter, and he now has 3 sacks, on pace for double digits. And that is the 3rd sack this offensive line has allowed this first quarter.
Yeah, that puts him on pace. Let me do the rudimentary math here. To be sacked 12 times in a game. I know he's not going to go for that. I wonder if it's going to reshape what they decide to do on offense in terms of play calling.
Well, I can tell you what, when he popped up, shaking his head, frustrated right now behind center. On 4th down, here's Jamie Gillen on to punt. Fielded just inside the 30. And he gets this up across the 35 before he's out of bounds. It'll be 37 yards there on the punt, and they will take over 1st and 10. Throwing to start the drive. Purdy. That's complete to the tight end, Saubert. And he'll be out of bounds after getting this one across the 40. And we're going to stop play here, at least momentarily. It looks like there is a 49er who's in some discomfort. Now, the medical staff is going to come out here and take a look, and we will take a short break. From the 42-yard line, here's 2nd and 5. From the shotgun to McCaffrey. And he is going to lose yardage here. That's a big loss of 3, and it brings up 3rd down.
Well, that play was over before it even got started. Thanks for nothing, huh? How about that? That sets up a very difficult 3rd down call now.
Here's 3rd and 7. Purdy from the gun. Work in the middle of the field, and he's got a man complete. And he is going to have a Niners first down as they're able to get the 3rd down conversion.
Well, this is where reading defenses and practice time comes into play. You've got to know what you're running versus zone versus man and how to run the proper route. And they just executed that one pretty well.
Here's Purdy. That's over the middle and caught by Ayuk. And brought down, but able to get it to their 30-yard line. Another nice gain. That's now 30 yards between those last two plays. So 1st and 10 now from the 30. They go play action here. Purdy. It's a short one here, complete to his tight end. And he is out of bounds inside the 30. So just 3 yards on the completion there. And it's 2nd down.
Got to give credit where it's due. Really nice defense on that play. The pitch and catch was successful, but not any run after it.
And they'll come up on a 2nd and 7 from the 27. McCaffrey running up the middle. Call it a gain of a couple, and that's going to leave them with a 3rd and about 5.
Well, they certainly had success throwing the ball on this drive, and not as much running it as we just saw once again on that last play. Stopped after a very short gain. But I wouldn't abandon the run totally, because otherwise, pass rushers just tee off on your quarterback. Makes it very, very difficult for him in that situation.
14-0 the score. This is the NFL on EA Sports. The 49ers with the football here to begin the 2nd quarter. This offense so far on 3rd down, they have been superb. 5 for 6 to this point. This will be 3rd and 5. Back to throw, Purdy. This ball is caught. He's got Debo. And they're going to have another 1st down as the tackle's made at the Giants 16. Give them 10 yards there as this offense is on a roll. This drive continues to plunge forward.
Well, things are definitely going right for them here in the first half. Pick a down, any down, even 3rd down, no problem. They get a connection there and pick up a fresh set of downs, continuing to move the ball.
On 1st down, this is McCaffrey. And he'll get 4 there, down to about the 12-yard line.
The passing game's been working quite well so far, but the running game's been a little bit of a struggle, and that's a surprise to me. Typically, when you can throw it, you've opened up lanes for your runners.
Now a 2nd and 6. Purdy. And on the left sideline, he caught it, but out of bounds, according to the head linesman. Incomplete, so the ball a little late getting there, and it's 3rd down. Looked like he had a couple of different options as far as who to throw to on that play. And who am I to say this, but I'm not sure he made the right decision.
Well, the window of opportunity is always going to be small in the NFL. That's why those quarterbacks who make quick decisions and have quick releases have the most success in this league.
Purdy from the gun on 3rd down. Being chased out left. And they're able to stop him short. On 3rd and 6, they'll only pick up 4.
That was a good effort there, trying to do it on his own. But as a defender, you're in a tough spot because you have coverage responsibilities behind you. And if you take off too quick to try and get him down, he might loft it over your head.
So better to track with your man defensively than try to go up and make a stop on the quarterback.
Exactly right. What you're hoping is that your guys in the front 7 can get him down.
Here we go with McCaffrey. And he's able to pick up the 1st before he's brought down inside the 5 at the 4. Remember, that was 4th and a full 2 yards. There's a big difference between that and 4th and maybe 6 inches or a yard.
Yeah, you're exactly right, because when it's at 6 inches, you just fall forward and you pick it up, right? You just go quarterback sneak. But having to move bodies, that means you actually have to execute because they know what you're going to do. How are you going to make the right play call and get everyone into the right spot and win at the line of...
And across the chalk, into the end zone, it's a 49er touchdown. Brock Purdy taking it in from 4 yards out. And the Niners take a 3-touchdown lead. Well, I don't think that we're ready yet to say the route is on, but they have certainly looked near flawless here in this first half, and now an extra point away from making it 21-0.
Yeah, and your experience led you to say that because we have both seen those 21-0 leads come and go in this league. but this one feels pretty darn secure. And here's the other part. Even when people chip away at it, it forces you into being almost perfect on the other side, doesn't it, in order to try and mount a comeback.
Moody good with the extra point, and that makes the score 21-0. So here's Moody back out there now to send this one away. And able to take it past the 25 and up to the 28-yard line. New York set to take the field. Well, CD, you kind of feel like they're in a bit of a danger zone right here because now you're down 3 scores, and I know we're in the first half, but the way this offense hasn't been able to generate anything, you feel like they probably need to get something going on this drive, right?
Yeah, and sometimes I overuse that this is an important possession. But I think this has to be the possession where they come up with an answer because only a few teams in league history have ever come back from a 4-score deficit. And if they don't score here, that's what they could be facing the next time they get the ball.
Just need a yard here. 2nd and 1. Right back to Tracy. And they bring him to the ground just shy of midfield. First down for the Giants as they pick up 12. There was a little space there, yes, but that was a well-executed run by the rookie.
It was, and he wasn't one of the higher-rated rookie running backs coming out. He's probably on the next tier. But let me tell you something. If he becomes more consistent and continues to have that drive to be one of the best, we'll see more of that in the future.
Play action. Now it's Locke. A short throw pulled in by Bellinger. So the completion good for 7 there. And it'll be 2nd down.
They gave up the completion there, but this is what zone defenses count on. Catching the ball and not much run after the catch.
From the 43, it's 2nd and 3. Locke working out of the gun. He's going to let this go. Back of the end zone. He's got it. Touchdown, Giants. Darius Slayton. 43 yards. And the Giants get a bit closer. Down 3 scores already. This game was really in danger of getting away from them. They needed a drive like that, especially on the road.
Not only to calm themselves, but maybe tamp down the crowd a little bit because everything was against them. As you noted, this game could have gotten away from them very easily, but instead, the calming drive, now they have a little bit more confidence. Okay, we're back.
And now, of course, all scoring plays are reviewed, and I think they're going to take an extra long look at this one. They're taking a peek at whether or not those feet were in bounds, and obviously a big call here in the end zone.
And not just the feet. How about the hands? How's the ball possessed while the feet are hopefully getting down in bounds? That's what they're trying to look at to see if it all comes together.
So they called it a touchdown originally, and this will stay a touchdown after the video review, so they had it right. Extra point try good by Gano, and they'll cut the lead to 21-7. Just a 4-play drive that time, and it was finished off by a touchdown by the New York Giants. Gano now following the touchdown here to kick it away. And a decent return out to the 27-yard line. Out on the field now, here come the 49ers. This drive here beginning probably with a pair of motivated groups. Remember, the offense scored a touchdown on their last time out, looking to repeat that in Charles's defense. They were very frustrated after giving up 6 the last time on the field.
And frankly, it's just a battle of wills in a lot of ways because you know they're both motivated. They both game plan for this drive, and they both have specific outcomes in mind. To me, it just comes down to who can execute better and which side can step up and assert its will over the other.
2nd and 10. Looking to throw. Purdy. It's caught by Jennings. And they're able to get this one across the 35. That'll put him at an even 50 receiving yards now in this first half. And it's a first down.
But one of the ways that quarterbacks keep all the receivers alive in a play, never lock in on any one guy. Make sure you keep your eyes moving, scan the field. And here he finds the open guy for a nice pickup.
Now Purdy. And he'll dump this off to his running back, McCaffrey. And he'll lose yardage. Brought down at the 32. A completion, yes, but certainly not what they wanted. A loss of a full 6 yards.
When you lose that kind of yardage on a pass play, you often expect it to be a sack. But that wasn't the case there. They completed the pass. Probably would have been better off just dropping the football and making an incompletion as opposed to catching it and losing that kind of yardage.
No yardage to speak of whatsoever. Leads to a third down. Well, he caught it right at the line of scrimmage, and before he could even think about advancing it forward, he got hit.
Great tackling, because that's what you're taught. Don't give up yards after the catch, and most offenses make a living off of yards after catch. Those hidden yards that may not go into the score sheet, but they count big for moving the ball and stretching the field. Really nice open field tackle.
And he'll have it past midfield almost to the 40 before being taken down. Hang on a second here, because on that last play, it appears one of the Giants shaken up. Hopefully, obviously nothing serious here. Medical staff, though, going to take a peek, and we'll take a break. So the drive takes them into Giants territory now. 1st and 10 at the 42-yard line. And incomplete, a drop there in the middle third of the field. That'll bring up 2nd down.
Right up to that point, I was about to say he's had a pretty good half catching the football, but let's just be honest about it. He should have caught that one.
And he knows that. That was one right in his breadbasket and one he normally catches. Up the gut, McCaffrey. And he's going to get this pretty close to the first down marker at the Giants' 33. 9 yards, not quite enough, and they'll be left now with 3rd and 1.
They just keep trying, but so far, finding no room for him to run.
None whatsoever. In fact, you run the numbers, he's under 3 yards a carry at the moment. And this offense on 3rd down today, can't fault these numbers. 7 for 9 thus far. They need just a yard here. It's 3rd and 1. Purdy now to throw. Pass taken in by his big tight end. And he is going to have a 49ers first down as they're able to convert by plenty there on 3rd and 1. Got to say, I was a little surprised to see him, Charles, come out in the shotgun on 3rd and less than a yard.
Yeah, but the way the NFL is nowadays, we hardly ever see anyone really run for it on short yardage. So they're going to throw the football more times than not. That was a nice, easy rhythm throw right there, and they pick up the first down.
They'll look to throw here on 1st down. And this will be incomplete. Physical play on the football there, and it's 2nd down.
I know at times people think we use it too often, but you've got to be able to throw guys open. And when you read zone, you've got to stick it in there before your receiver gets to the next guy in the zone. Otherwise, you bring him into the play.
And that's precisely what allowed that defense to disrupt the pass. To throw once more on 2nd and 10. Purdy, 4 yards the gain, and it'll bring up a 3rd down.
What terrifies defenses when they see slant routes thrown is that the receiver is on the move, and oftentimes he catches it and gets upfield. Does a really nice job rallying to him and stopping him for a minimal gain.
So they need 6 yards here on 3rd down. They're 2 for 2 on 3rd down tries so far on this drive. They'll stick with the passing game as he looks to throw. That is caught. And he is going to have a Niners first down as they're able to get the 3rd down conversion.
And that's well executed there on 3rd down. And I love the confidence that they had to let their tight end try and find some space in the middle of the field, right in their quarterback's line of vision. And QBs love to make that easy throw, and they hooked up there for a first down.
Now a 1st and 10 at the 11. Again, he'll drop to throw. Over the middle, complete to Samuel. And this will leave him a yard short. Nice pickup of 9 yards on first down. Second and 1 from the 2. Shotgun now with Purdy. He'll get this out wide here to McCaffrey. Touchdown! Christian McCaffrey. A 2-yard touchdown grab as his guys are able to push that lead out a bit further. CD, it seemed like they were so focused on the guys out wide, they forgot about him out of the backfield.
That's a really good point because you've got to communicate, and oftentimes when you start counting receivers, that's exactly what you do. You start from the widest receiver, work your way inside. Who gets lost sometimes? The back in the backfield. That's exactly what happened there.
And he got into the end zone. Now Moody for the PAT. He knocks it through. It's 28-7. So that one a 13-play drive in total. And it's finished off by a receiving touchdown from Christian McCaffrey. So following the touchdown, here's Moody back out to send it away. Oh, a good return up past the 30. And they got to be pleased with this. He brings it all the way up to the 40-yard line. Darius Slayton and the rest of this offense about to begin their next drive. He's up near 100 yards now here in the second quarter, but his team's down.
Through no fault of his own. I mean, what a nice game he's having so far. They've got to keep finding ways to get him the football. Don't get away from that. Figure out where things are going wrong with the rest of the team.
He'll be hoping to hit that 100-yard mark on this drive. From the 44-yard line, here's 2nd and 6. Throwing now is Locke. Toward the right sideline, but it's incomplete. So after the second down incompletion, they'll come up now against a 3rd and 6. Block now to throw. He's got his target. That's complete. And he takes this one down almost all the way to the 30. 25 yards that time.
With the kind of game he's had so far, you had to know that on 3rd down that they would be looking his way, and they did, for big yardage and a first down. I think the defense fell asleep at the switch on that one. I would have doubled him, tripled him, anything to keep the ball out of his hands.
So from inside Niner territory now, this is 1st and 10, down at the 31. Tracy trying the right side. Yeah, boy, this defense again really making things tough on him as they stop him for no gain. Looked like he was trying to bounce it outside, but no success.
Yeah, sometimes you got to just figure out where you're going to go, and sometimes you just have to take it to another spot. In trying to get it outside, the defensive pursuit was there and just ran him down.
In motion, Slayton. On the give, it's Tracy. And this time he won't even make it back to the line of scrimmage as they stop him in his tracks. He'll wind up losing 3. And now it's 3rd down.
It's a tough one right there. He ran right into the teeth of the blitz as the linebacker was freed up in order to stuff that one for a loss. I think quarterbacks got to see that. Got to find a way to audible into something a little more advantageous.
From the gun on 3rd down, Locke. Able to find the open man. That's complete. And down he goes, taking it inside the 10, just shy of the 5 at the 6. They're able to convert on 3rd down, and that sets up a 1st and goal.
And this is an offense in need of getting a few good things to happen. Here's one right here. They've had their share of struggles in key moments, but that's a nice throw and nice work after the throw. And they're set up now with a 1st and goal.
They'll hand it to Tracy. And a minuscule gain of maybe a yard from the 6 to the 5.
The yards may start getting a little tougher to come by down here near the goal line. That's good work defensively there on first down, holding them to a short gain.
And the ball smack dab on the 5-yard line. Here's 2nd and goal. Locke going to throw. And he drops it incomplete. And their struggles continue here.
As this old brain remembers, when I see 5 wide receivers on the field as a defender, I know the ball's coming out hot. They expected it and got there and popped it free.
They've been denied touchdowns in the red zone twice already. Here comes 3rd and goal. Here's Locke. In trouble, and he'll go down back at the 12. Dre Greenlaw getting home on that one. So that now 4 first-half sacks. This pass rush has been unrelenting.
And, partner, you hear that sound of paper being ripped to shreds? That's the game plan that they've had so far because they've got to say to themselves right now, we have to do something differently.
On 4th down, on is Graham Gano for the Giants field goal. And this one will be a 29-yard attempt. Gano's kick is good, and the deficit drops now from 21 down to 18. They had it 1st and goal, 3 attempts, couldn't get it in, so they settle for 3.
Yeah, the field tends to shrink a little bit the closer you get to the goal line, doesn't it? It doesn't sound right. It sounds a little counterintuitive. But you run out of space to run the deep routes, so they can just sit on the shorter stuff if you're going to throw it. If you want to run it, there's just not as much space. They end up having to take 3 there.
And he'll take it up past the 25 to the 26-yard line. The Niners offense and Brock Purdy getting ready for this next possession. And he's had things all his way in this first half. The numbers sensational as he'll look to add to them with another drive here. The 49er offense set to get this drive underway. Throwing here, Purdy. Oh, he'll look downfield for Kittle. That's caught inside the 20. And he's able to get this down deep on the Giants side of the field. A big play there for the Niners. 59 yards.
I'll tell you what, this is not going to be a fun discussion at halftime for this defense. They've been absolutely taken advantage of in the first half. And here's another play for big yardage.
A real field flipper there as all of a sudden they've got a first down in the red zone. Purdy will set up to throw it here. Got a man right side. It's McCaffrey. And they'll bring him down at the 13-yard line. 2 yards that time. A stark contrast from the big chunk on the previous play.
And that's a good job there by the corner. And we do talk about this a lot, that a lot of corners see their job as simply covering receivers. Tackling isn't everyone's thing. But in this case, he came up quickly and made a nice, sure tackle.
Purdy looking to throw. Quick hitter here. It's complete. Showed off the toughness, but still corralled shy of the 5 at the 6. That's good. The completion there for 7 yards. And that'll leave him with a 3rd and just a yard.
That was a nicely run slant route, and what the receiver's trying to do is make the defender think he's going upfield for a deeper route and then breaks it off, usually after about 3 to 4 steps, and cuts towards the middle of the field. And now what he's trying to do is use his body to keep the defender away.
And he's going to take it in. Touchdown, San Francisco. Brock Purdy, a 6-yard touchdown run. And the Niners are able to add on to their first half lead.
If you're going to play quarterback in the NFL, you've got to have great vision, and you've got to remain calm when things break down in the pocket. Both of those traits are on display there. He surveys the situation, sees the middle of the field open, so he's just going to step up and take it himself. Very well done there.
Moody good with the extra point. And the route is on here in this first half. A drive there of just 4 plays. And it's capped off by a touchdown run of 6 yards. So after the made field goal by Moody, he's back out to kick this one away. Now a crease here as he's past the 30. And they got to be pleased with this. He brings it all the way up to the 40-yard line. Darius Slayton and the rest of this offense about to begin their next drive. He's done his part, but so far it's been in a losing effort, so they've got to fix something.
But that doesn't mean changing anything, the way they're throwing the ball around and his catches and production. Keep doing that. They're going to have to fix some things likely on defense to try and slow down their opponents.
But so far he's north of 100 yards receiving. And he is out of bounds inside the 35. 56 yards rushing on 12 carries for him now.
Well, partner, I have to say they caught him in the right defense there. Nickel set, fifth defensive back on the field, and they love to run against that because now you typically get a bigger blocker on a smaller defender.
Yeah, because those DBs like you, they want the interception. They're not as worried about the running play, right?
Not at all. And I still remember being in school, and one of my offensive line teammates used to say, boy, I'd love to come downfield and hit you little people.
Good run there. Now 2nd and 8 at the 32-yard line. Here's Locke to throw. Robinson's got it. And he will take it on in for a giant touchdown. Wan'Dale Robinson, 32 yards. And the Giants are able to make some inroads here to that deficit. And on that one, able to catch it, also able to have the wherewithal to take it in for the score.
And how about the phases of a successful catch and a completion of a play? Look the ball in, secure the catch, and then, of course, the run after the catch that ends up in the end zone.
Gano now to add the extra point. And that'll cut the lead down now to 18. So they only needed 3 plays on that drive. And it was finished up by a touchdown catch from Wan'Dale Robinson. Gano now following the touchdown here to kick it away. And he's up across the 25 and down at the 28. So now out comes this offense led by their quarterback as they take over once more. And he's done everything you could have asked for coming in. He's spread it around. He hasn't taken many chances. And he's potentially on his way to a big game throwing the football. Here's Purdy. That ball caught. Brandon Ayuk. Down the right sideline. Touchdown, 49ers. Brandon Ayuk with his 2nd touchdown here in this first half. And the 49ers are able to strike quickly to add on to their lead. What a first half he is compiling here. He's already over 100 yards receiving and now 2 touchdowns, CD.
Brandon, you know I don't like to play the game where you start projecting when you're at a certain point. But let's face it, he's off to a tremendous start. So 200 yards, 4 touchdowns. I don't think anything's out of the question right now. He's blowing up coverages. You've got to double him every snap. Otherwise, he's going to defeat you on almost every play.
An extra point try now for Moody. And they open the lead up now to 25 points. They certainly made quick work of that, ultra quick work. One of the fastest drives you'll ever see, just 1 play resulting in the touchdown. So here's Moody back out there now to send this one away. And a nice return sets him up pretty good here right at the 30-yard line. There again is the running back as he trots onto the field. They're behind in the first half here, CD, but it's not through any fault of their running back. He's had a strong start to this one.
And you're right about that, partner, because watching him play, you would think that his team is in the lead. He has been a lot of fun in this contest. Now let's see if they can actually make something happen and put more points on the board behind his efforts.
Yeah, I'm curious to see, Charles, if they can play complementary football and get that passing game going as well. Now Locke. And that's going to be caught downfield by Slayton. And they'll get this to the 30-yard line before crossing over out of bounds. He got 29 yards that time.
And I don't think there's any question that this offense is going to need to hit on a few more plays like this. It's been a difficult first half for them, to say the least. And I do believe if they want to get back in this game, they need to start right now. It's kind of like making adjustments. If you try and wait until the half, it's probably too late. They need to get going right here.
And that is going to be incomplete as he led him a bit too much.
And not a common sight, at least on this drive. A momentary setback, though, for this passing game that has been moving well this series. Good thing for them, though. Still 2 more downs to connect and try and pick up another first down.
To throw it is Locke. That's complete to Slayton. And he stopped right at the 25 after a gain of 5. The Giants going to go ahead and use the first of their timeouts, as the stoppage will come with a little under a minute to go in this first half. Third and 5. Locke looks to throw it again. That's to the sideline and pulled in. And he'll go out of bounds in the red zone just inside the 20. It goes as a gain of 6, and it's a first down.
But with the score where it is, you're not thinking field goals right now. You need touchdowns. So that was a much-needed conversion there on third down.
So here's a 1st and 10 now down inside the 20. They look to throw. It's Locke. Now they go screen. It's complete. And now they're inside the 10 as he's brought down at the 9. Now the Giants will use the second of their 3 timeouts as the clock stops here with 46 seconds remaining in the first half. So not quite a 1st and goal just yet as they come up now 2nd and inches. They'll look to throw again. He's got it. And just shy of the goal line as he's out of bounds right at the 1. 9 yards on the play there, and it'll set him up 1st and goal.
Many different ways to create space, but on that play, he did it with that big, wide body of his. Didn't get a whole lot of yardage on the play, but it did what it was supposed to. Pick up a first down.
Running left is Tracy. And this one will wind up with him losing yardage back to the 4-yard line. Yikes, a 4-yard loss really sets him back now for 2nd down.
Well, I know a defensive coordinator is going to be pretty excited about what he just saw there. Great knockback by their front. And now with the ball where it is, I would expect to see the offense throw the ball on 2nd and 3rd down here.
Under pressure, down he goes. Sacked at the 10. The Giants going to burn their 3rd and final timeout as they'll stop the clock with 12 seconds to go in this first half. Third and goal, trying to make that scoreboard at least a little more respectable. Back to throw. Locke. That one thrown away from the pocket. The officials kind of looking at each other, but they'll say there was a receiver in the area, so no penalty, just an incomplete pass.
Well, how about the coverage we just saw him break out on 3rd down? Dime defense, blanketed the field with extra defensive backs and speed, unable to find an open hole to complete that pass.
Gano's kick is good, and they're back within 3 scores as it's now a 22-point game. Well, not the best first half facing this deficit, but at least they did put 3 on the board before half.
Yeah, it's a little bit like that stormy, cloudy day, and the sun peeks through just for a second. They saw the sun there. They're hoping to see a little bit more of it in the second half.
And we will not have a return. They'll bring this to the 30. The San Francisco offense ready to start their next drive. And with 5 seconds to go, this will likely be our final play. And he gets this to the 35. Good for a gain of 5. So we've reached halftime in a wild first half. We'll take a minute to catch our breath As we'll send you back over to Orlando with our EA Sports Halftime Report, here's Jonathan Coachman.
The Niners got a fine performance in the first half from one of their leaders, Brock Purdy. He's over 300 yards passing already as he's looking to possibly put his name in the record book.
All right, Coach, thanks very much. Fine work as always as we welcome you back for quarter number 3. The Giants set to get the football, and they trail here as we get back underway in the second half. And able to get this out to the 25. Another drive coming up for New York's offense. The Giants offense at the line, ready to begin their next drive. And you have to think, Charles, down 3 scores already. They need to play an almost perfect second half to have a solid chance.
And that absolutely starts with finding some way to put together a touchdown drive here. They need to be smart, fast, efficient, get the ball into the end zone, and do it again multiple times in order to have a chance to win this game.
Well, if these guys are going to chop into that deficit, they're going to have to do a much better job in the run game. Caught behind the line of scrimmage, no yardage to be found.
On the ground, here comes Tracy. 5 yards on the carry there, and it leaves him with 3rd and about 6 yards to go.
But you've got to give kudos to your offensive line and the guy carrying the ball because they were in a 2nd and long situation. It seemed pretty dire, but they brought it back to 3rd and manageable with that run.
This offense in desperate need of a conversion as they come up on 3rd down. And Robinson, the motion man right. Locke working out of the gun. Got a man, Slayton. And he's going to be out of bounds right at midfield. Great way to convert on 3rd down there. 21 yards the play.
Well, we talk all the time about playing situational football, and right now I think the scoreboard is dictating what they need to do. Where they are in this game, they've got to push the ball downfield, take their shots, try and get big chunks of yardage in a short amount of time. That was a nice play there.
Here's Tracy. And he is tackled inside the 40, not quite to the 35. 72 yards for him on the ground now as he has been terrific here this afternoon.
Despite the score, despite the deficit, no quitting this guy. He's running angry, running through arm tackles. He wants to change what that scoreboard is saying.
So from the 36 now, 1st and 10. Now a play fake, and here's Locke. There's a short one caught by Johnson. So give him 5 yards there on the pitch and catch, and it'll be 2nd down.
So much goes into a successful play, doesn't it? How about that play action there, freezing the defense just enough to bring the tight end free downfield for the completion.
From the 31, here's a 2nd and 5. On the run is Tracy. And they'll be inside the 25 now at the 24. 7 yards there and a 1st down.
But they're getting ready to go to work now in prime real estate after that last run. Found his spot and picked up nice yardage, didn't he?
And now he's got him knocking on the door of the red zone. Block off a play action. A short throw pulled in by Bellinger. I call it no gain there on the 1st down play.
And there's a completion to the tight end. And look at the size of these players nowadays. At that spot, 6'4", 6'5", and up. A lot of guys used to be basketball players, somehow came back to football. And that's really good for the game of football. You're getting better athleticism, great hand-eye coordination, guys who know how to control their bodies when they run their routes.
On the jet sweep, it's Robinson. And he stopped immediately there. No gain on the play there, so that doesn't help. Now they're looking up at a 3rd and 9 situation.
Defensively, they had that one pretty well figured out.
Yeah, one of the things about this play, it can be even more effective when you run a lot of motion, and there's plenty of times you don't hand it off.
From the gun, it's Locke. And that is caught. He's got it for a giant touchdown. Daniel Bellinger, a 24-yard touchdown. And the Giants are able to cut into this lead as they score on the opening drive of the second half. That's a score you felt they had to have here in the third quarter to get back in this game.
And you know that there was an emphasis on their side. Hey, we know this. We know where we are. But sometimes that binds you up so much that you try too hard, you don't get the score. A perfect combination of urgency, yet relaxed enough to get it done.
And this one incomplete. So they went for the 2. They don't get it. So unable to throw it in for 2 from the 2. Let me ask you, as a former DB, what changes there around the goal line on a 2-point conversion as far as how you're defending it?
You just make sure you never back up and you never retreat. You establish yourself really on the line of scrimmage, put your heels on the goal line at worst, and if they're going to throw the ball, make them throw it over your head because they're going to run out of space because of the back of the end zone. Never let a guy catch one in front of you.
The lane opens here. He's past the 30. And a pretty slick return there. Almost got it to the 45. Officially, they'll call him down at the 44. The 49er offense set to get this drive underway. And they were terrific in the first half, built up a sizable lead, and it's just been cut into a bit following the opening drive score on the other side. But this is a unit that has to be itching to get the football again.
You can say that again. They've got to be pretty eager because, let's face it, they've had to sit through halftime, then sit on the sidelines and watch that drive. So you can bet that they're saying, let's get on with this. We got to go out there and get some more points.
Ball on the 47-yard line. Here's 2nd down and 1. This is McCaffrey on the give. And he'll be brought down at the 45-yard line. 2 yards on the pickup, and that's all they needed to move the sticks.
2nd and 1 is often an invitation to take the big shot downfield. But I bet the offensive lineman said, are you kidding? We just get on our backs and let's go get the first down. They love being physical.
They'll bring a receiver in motion left. Now Purdy. That's caught by Jennings. And that's good for a gain of 6. And that will bring up 2nd down.
Good throw, good catch, but I really like the route. The drag and being able to run away from defenders. Hard to stick with them for that long.
Yeah, better against man than zone, or?
Better against man, because now you're running away from someone and you're not running into a defensive player in another zone.
Back to throw, Purdy. They'll find Ayuk open right side. He's been big. 2 touchdowns earlier. Now he's got a first down here. And he's certainly been a huge factor in this when he's got the 2 touchdowns to his credit. Now they look to him again. He picks up the first.
Yeah, I can hear everyone saying, well, why don't you cover him, double him, triple him, do what you have to do. But sometimes they get locked into such a groove and such a connection, it doesn't matter how many guys are in his area.
He certainly looks to be in that groove right now. Purdy now to throw. Over the middle, that's complete to McCaffrey. They'll wind up getting 7 on the play, and that'll bring up 2nd down.
Just about every quarterback is trained to really look downfield first before you come back and make a nice, safe throw. And in this case, that's exactly what he did. Found his running back, let him create some space, and it turned out to be a nice play for the offense.
Once more, Purdy looking to throw. Another grab here for the dynamic Christian McCaffrey. And he'll take it down here just shy of the 15 at the 16-yard line. 9 yards to pick up there, and it's a first down.
Another catch for him there on this drive, Brandon, and it looks like they're going to utilize him out of the backfield any way they can. And that time they pick up a first down. So now on defense, do you assign a man to him and try and cover him before he gets going?
Purdy. This is Jennings. They'll give him 4 yards there, and that's going to bring up 2nd down.
Nothing fancy on first down, but a very consistent type of a play. Hit that slant. A lot of people call it an extension of the running game, and it can be if that pass is completed, because you hit a guy on the run like that, he often can go for big yardage.
Sets him up nicely for second down, staying ahead of schedule. They'll give it up to McCaffrey, and he is met in his tracks behind the line of scrimmage. It'll go down as a 2-yard loss, and it brings up a third down.
They have 3 tight ends in that formation. That's almost a universal sign that they're planning to run the football. But how about the defense there? They met force with force and caused a stack up behind the line of scrimmage and threw him for a loss.
Out of the gun, Purdy. And he gets the first down yardage he needs before he's brought down at the 6. A strong 8 yards will keep this drive rolling.
Oh, man. Just when the D thought they had the answer for him, he went and changed the question. Surprises him by taking off himself. He's able to set up his offense pretty with a 1st and goal.
Throwing here, Purdy. And they're going to get him. They bring him down to the sack back at the 16-yard line. The sack sets him back a full 10 yards there on 1st and goal.
Well, that's not how you hope to draw it up there on 1st and goal, CD, by taking a sack like that.
Well, they tried to be aggressive, didn't they? They didn't want to try and work their way past the goal line. They wanted it right there on that play. Unfortunately, it backfired against them. Now they have to try and pick it up here moving forward.
First down, a bit of a disaster, and now on 2nd and goal, back even further. Shotgun handoff now to McCaffrey. And he's able to get this inside the 10 now to the 9. He picks up 7 yards there, but they're still faced with a difficult 3rd and goal here.
Looks to me like maybe there's a little attrition setting in with this drive, because when you see that type of a run, I get the feeling the defense getting a little bit tired.
And that's the last thing they need, especially when they look up at the scoreboard. And they'll send the tight end in motion left. They'll look to throw on 3rd and goal. And he's able to get it down to the 2-yard line. Pretty solid gain of 7 yards that time as he scrambled, but now they face a 4th down.
That looked great when he first took off because, in my mind, there was room to run and he had the marker in his sight. But I certainly didn't expect him to close so quickly, and neither did he. They got to him just in time, and now that forced him to make a decision with his 4th down call.
They'll run for it. McCaffrey. And he'll take this into the end zone for a San Francisco touchdown.
Christian McCaffrey
with his 2nd touchdown of the afternoon.
And the 49ers' decision to go for it pays off with 6 points. So 4th and goal, their head coach gave that offensive line one more chance to punch it in, and this time they were successful.
They certainly paid off the coach's confidence, didn't they? And how about the fact that they stayed with the ground game? Because a lot of times in that situation, partner, we see teams try and roll the quarterback out, give him a little run-pass option, and treat it like a 2-point conversion play. In this case, they went with a little bit more power and got it done.
So that drive spans 13 plays. And the last play on the drive, the touchdown run from Christian McCaffrey.
So following the touchdown, here's Moody back out to send it away.
Oh, a good-looking return set up here.
And it's a pretty good return here as he'll get this up to the 29. The Giants offense and their running back getting set to go once more. And as you take a look at the numbers, you have to imagine he was the topic of the halftime talk for this defense. We've got to find a way to slow him down. That's probably what they're saying. But nothing that they have done has worked so far.
Oh, he dropped it. And that's pretty indicative of the way this one's gone.
We know it's not an easy job to go out and catch passes when people are trying to tackle you and knock the ball away. But the bottom line is that's a pass he's got to have and a pass he should have caught.
Here's 2nd and 10.
Here's Locke.
That ball caught by Slayton. And he has a big gain inside the 40 before being dropped.
The catch and run going to wind up netting him 33 yards.
Well, this game has certainly had no shortage of offense. Both teams have been revved up from the start. And here's yet another big play. Boy, both defenses have just got to be dragging out there because they've been run ragged throughout.
Block now to throw. Out route pass complete to Bellinger. And he is out of bounds inside the 30.
Well, it certainly feels like there are more stars at the tight end position than there were even 10 years ago. And I think it's become more of a glamour position because of the ways it can hurt a defense, and guys want to be involved. They can be in line, close to the line of scrimmage. They can split out like receivers. But hands, route running, speed, and some toughness to go across the middle, you put it all together, you got a heck of a tight end candidate.
And he is going to lose yardage here. Officially, it will go as a 1-yard loss, and that's going to lead to a third down.
We all have habits. We can be somewhat predictable, and you know me pretty well on second down and short. What I like to see.
Play action.
Yeah, without a doubt. I thought that was a great spot to call it. Instead, didn't go their way, did it?
No, defense sold out for the run. Worked out well. Work in the middle of the field, and he's got a man complete. And he will have a Giants first down as they're able to convert by plenty there on 3rd and 1.
Would it be safe to say that as precise as routes are supposed to be run in the NFL, maybe they're not quite as precise in college ball?
That's accurate, yeah.
And I think we saw a college route in the NFL there. Just find the soft spot, find the dead zone, and find the first down. And that's what he just did.
Under pressure, and he'll go down. Sacked back at the 31. Nick Bosa, who else? He's in there for his 4th sack of the afternoon.
Well, collectively as a defense, Charles, I think if you get 4 sacks a game, you're feeling really good. Now they have 6 as a unit.
And that type of a number is just staggering because there's so many ways to try and counteract it. But in this case, they've got no answers for this unrelenting pressure coming at their quarterback.
Got to imagine the pass rush will be equally intense here on second down following the sack. It's 2nd and 18.
Straight ahead, here's Tracy.
He's able to get 4 back on the run, but now they'll have to find something here on 3rd and about 14.
On any running play that's called, they're always hoping that it's going to break big and go the distance. But when you get a nice game like that, you're able to do so many things anyway. You can come back and run essentially the same play again, continue to move the ball on the ground, or you can decide to throw the ball now because usually you have the defense back on its heels.
Well, had his hands on it, couldn't bring it in. Pretty symptomatic of how this game's been going.
They went with a dime look on defense, 2 extra defensive backs on the field and covered up essentially every blade of grass. That allowed them to disrupt the play.
They'll try the field goal now with Graham Gano. This from 44 yards out, left hash. Gano's kick is good, and that'll get this back down to a 20-point spread. So his 3rd field goal of the ball game brings him a bit closer, but there's no question they need to start turning some of these 3s into 6s.
And 7s and probably even 8s. You know, as a kicker, you just head out when you're called upon, so he's done his job. It's the rest of the offense that needs to get it in gear if they want to close this gap.
And a nice return sets him up pretty good here right at the 30-yard line.
The 49ers offense making its way back out there. The San Francisco offense ready to start their next drive. And they'll just simply be looking to build off the confidence of the last time out where they scored a touchdown.
And confidence is powerful, isn't it? When you've scored once, you feel like you can go back out there and get it done again. Doesn't matter what the defense throws at them. They feel like they're in a groove right now, and they want to get out there and show it.
Yeah, hoping to stay in that groove here this go-around.
Second down and 4. Purdy looking to throw.
Buying time to his left. And he can't find a receiver, and he's brought down. They get to him for a loss of 4,
And it brings up third down on the sack.
Brandon, never ceases to amaze me just how fast these defensive ends are in the game nowadays. Part of that is what we've seen in college football, where they've gotten smaller and faster on the defensive side of the ball. But they've brought that to the NFL because it is hard for an offensive lineman to keep them away from the quarterback.
Purdy will set up to throw it here. They'll set up the screen to McCaffrey. And he'll only get this to about the 35, well short of the line to gain. 3 yards, all they could muster there, and it'll bring up fourth down.
Good reactions there defensively. That screen was a little slow in developing, and they shut that one down with little gain.
Here comes the 49ers punter now, as he'll kick it away for the second time. His first punt, 48 yards. This one looks equally as good. 42 yards on the punt, just 2 on the return. And it'll be Giant football, 1st and 10. New York set to take the field. And tough to win games if you're going field goal, field goal, field goal here. They got field goal last time. Now they'll be looking for a touchdown.
They're looking for the big chunk now because, as you noted, the field goal way of doing it makes it that much harder and puts more pressure on every possession for you now. Go ahead and get 6 and feel a lot more comfortable about the position they're in.
Bigger chunks. We'll see if they can get the score. Ball on the 27. Here's a 2nd and 7. In motion, Slayton. They fake the handoff, now Locke. And he's going to lose yardage and be backed up to the 25. Now they're staring at a 3rd and 8. That last play, backwards a yard. And that was a heck of a play there on the outside.
Partner, sometimes I think on a play like this as a corner, you've got to think to yourself, all I've got to do is slow him down so others can come over and support. But in this case, he said, forget that. I've got this. Sorry you had to make the run for nothing, fellas.
No escape for Locke, and he'll go down. Javon Hargrave drops him for a 4-yard loss there, and that brings up 4th down.
I think we've seen this before. Someone's down 3 scores. That situation there, it's just going to add to their growing frustrations, don't you think?
Yeah, a bad number 3 right now. 3-score game, 3rd quarter, 3 and out, not what they wanted. And you can tell on the sideline, those faces are getting a little bit longer as this one goes. Here's Jamie Gillen now as he's on to punt for New York. Now fair catch is called for and taken at the, we'll call it the 37-yard line. The Niners offense and their quarterback ready to go once more. And he's been a nightmare to scheme against throughout this one. This defense has been totally taken apart, and that is borne out in his numbers. He's been terrific all game long. Here's Purdy. Looking for the out route, and he's got it. It's complete to McCaffrey. And he'll take this to the other side of midfield before going out of bounds. 15 for the Niners there and a 1st down.
And while we may be looking at the scoreboard, this offense certainly is not, because they're showing no signs of backing down, even with a 3-score lead here in the 3rd quarter. I think they keep taking their shots. They've seen blown leads happen throughout this league. They don't want to fall victim to it themselves.
They'll look to throw now on 1st down. Completes it to Jennings. And he'll go down, and that will do it for the 3rd quarter of action. 3 quarters in the books. We'll return with more after this. This is the NFL, and it's on EA Sports. Back now here in Santa Clara. It's 49er football here. They've got the lead as well as we get set to start the 4th and final quarter. A handoff, McCaffrey running right. A gain of 2 there on the heels of a 1-yard pickup on 1st. The completion on 1st didn't get much, and now the run on 2nd doesn't get a whole lot either.
Well, if you're a good play caller, you've already looked ahead and anticipated this type of situation. Already down in his play sheet, trying to dial up a big 3rd down play.
Third down, here's McCaffrey. And he's going to be stopped here at the 43, and that is not near enough to pick up the 1st.
This defense not budging. Back-to-back carries of just 2 yards. Well done to sniff that out defensively. He had it diagnosed pretty quickly.
I love that description because diagnosed is perfect on that one. Read his keys, made the play, and he couldn't even get going moving the football.
Here comes the 49ers punter now as he's on to kick it away. And this is going to hit the goal line and continue on into the end zone for a touchback. Here's the Giant offense now as they get ready to take over here.
Well, we said it at halftime that they would need a nearly perfect second half to erase that deficit that they were facing, CD. But unfortunately, the second half has pretty much been a carbon copy of the first.
Yeah, that early lead was almost insurmountable the way their opponent was playing. And, partner, they do have some good news, though. This one is getting close to being over, and they can try and hit the reset button starting tomorrow.
From the 22, here's 2nd and 8. In motion goes the tight end. They look to throw. It's Locke. And that falls to the ground, incomplete. Well, a nice job of bodying him up defensively, and now it brings up 3rd down. Well, the trials and tribulations of being a quarterback in this league, it's tough. It's got to be wearing on him out there.
Well, he has been sacked a number of times. He had an interception, so I'm going to give him a skosh of credit for hanging in there and trying to make something happen, despite the amount of pressure he's been under this entire game.
That is caught, and he will have a Giants 1st down as they're able to get the 3rd down conversion.
Well, I can put my defensive cap on right now, and I know they're saying don't give up any big plays now. They've controlled this game throughout, and all they want to do is see it through to the end. I think they let their guard down a little bit with that last completion. Sometimes when you're trying not to give up bigger plays, you don't react as fast as you should on other throws.
Now Locke again. And that one too wide and incomplete. At this point, down big, you'd have to imagine this defense are just going to sit back, blanket the field as best they can.
Yeah, this is actually the easy part of the game for them because, just as you noted, they can sit back, keep everything in front of them. But they've blanketed the field the entire game using a variety of coverages.
Locke working out of the gun. This one to Slayton over the middle. And he gets this one to midfield before he's brought down. Another catch for him. He's over the 250-yard mark now for the game, and he's got another 1st down.
Well, those are the types of plays they probably wish they had made more of in the first 3 quarters. And this deficit going to be tough to overcome here in the 4th. But a nice 1st down and a pickup on that throw.
Yeah, and this is where as coaches, you're looking for effort and execution, even though the scoreboard is going against you. You want to find out who's going to fight, who's going to scrap, who's going to keep their heads up and continue to play.
It's a big-time play there for the G-Men. 41 yards.
Well, as my dad would say sometimes, I'm just scratching my head here trying to figure out what was going on there defensively. How did you lose him in the middle of the field? If you're going to lose a receiver, make sure it's someone on the short side of things, not deep downfield, that can hurt your defense.
The chain gang hustling to catch up. Here's 1st and goal from just inside the 10. Throwing now is Locke. This is caught. Nice gain of 8 that time, but it's 2nd and goal. Now that tight end position, it just seems to continue to evolve every year in the NFL.
Yeah, you're getting really terrific athletes. A lot of them maybe were wide receivers at one point. They continue to give you speed, great hands, and big bodies, which make them excellent targets for quarterbacks.
Now it's Tracy, and he will take it on in for a Giant touchdown. Taking it in from a yard out. And the Giants have got it back to a 2-score game here in the 4th. So a little bit of a letdown there defensively. I mean, look, you're still 2 scores to the good, CD, but things may be a little more uncomfortable than they had hoped.
Yeah, if you'd kept them out of the end zone there, this game's over. You've locked the door on them. Instead, it's still open a little bit, and they've got a puncher's chance.
Gano for the extra point. And that will cut this lead down to 13. So an 8-play drive covering 80 yards.
And it ends with a 1-yard touchdown run. Gano now following the touchdown here to kick it away. And out a little across the 25 to the 27. The 49ers offense and their quarterback headed out for this next possession. And this defense might be about ready to wave the white flag. Nothing they have tried to throw at him has been that successful. He just processes things so quickly and makes a right read seemingly every time. Shotgun now with Purdy.
And I could see the officials kind of looking at each other down there, silently wondering, does this meet the level of grounding? Fortunately, he did have a receiver in the area, but I have seen less obvious throwaways called as penalties.
Now a 2nd and 10. McCaffrey running up the middle. 4 yards the gain, and it'll bring up a 3rd down.
And this is the worry, because sometimes you can get a little too predictable in spots like this. You know you're going to run the ball, but they know you're going to run the ball as well. And now you look up, and you're staring at an important 3rd down.
Here's 3rd and 6. Now Purdy. Able to find the open man. That's complete. And he is going to have a 49ers first down as they're able to get the 3rd down conversion. He's been the go-to guy. They needed a big play there on 3rd down. Went his way. It worked out.
Doesn't matter whether they've scouted it or that they think he's going to get the ball. He has a knack for finding his way open and completing the connection.
So from the 39 now, they'll come up on a 1st and 10. Back to throw, Purdy. A throw out wide, going to be incomplete.
No sense risking anything there on 1st down. Even though he's still in the pocket, he had a receiver out to his side, so just put that in a spot where the only people who could make a play on it are the trainers and the coaches. Well done.
After the incomplete pass, here now is 2nd and 10. Purdy now to throw. Taking a shot for Samuel. That's going to be knocked away and incomplete.
Going for the knockout blow right there. I think if I'm up 2 scores, I'd be worried about an interception, but playing this way is what got them this lead. So you may as well ride it out to the end.
So back-to-back incompletions, and that has them staring at a 3rd and 10. Purdy sets up to throw again. Open man is Samuel, complete. And this won't be enough. A good secure tackle, and they stop him a few yards shy at the 46. That'll go for a gain of 7, and that's going to make it 4th down.
One hallmark of good defenses is understanding the game, understanding positioning, and tackling immediately in the secondary after catches. I think we just saw that on display right there.
Got to him before he ever had a chance to think about turning it upfield. This is taken at about the 14. So a good punt there, but a nice return of 11 yards. And it will be 1st and 10 as they take over. New York set to take the field. Well, still a long way to go, but trending upward. They scored the last time out, you remember. Then their defense forced the punt. Now they try to inch closer, but still ultimately down 2 scores in the final quarter. They'll start with a run by Tracy. Yeah, boy, this defense again really making things tough on him as they stop him for no gain. They've called his number a lot this afternoon. You wonder how much tread is left on those tires.
We certainly do, but I always think back to one of my favorite coaches in the NFL, and he used to have a meeting with his running backs every year in the offseason and say, look, as many times as you're going to carry the ball, you should be able to carry it 1 more time, so make sure you get in shape.
Now a play fake, and here's Locke. Gets around him. And he was able to shed 1 tackle but could not get away from there. Short completion, just 4 yards. 3rd and 7 now. So 7 yards from the first down here as they come up to the line of scrimmage. On play action, Locke. And the Niners get there and bring him down. Well, this is getting ridiculous. 8 sacks now. That time multiple guys get to it.
Tremendous read and reaction by the defensive tackle. And frankly, partner, it's not that often the DTs have that type of easy access back to the quarterback. Never bought the play action fake.
Here's Jamie Gillen now as he'll punt it away for the 4th time today. And a fair catch taken back near about the 35, 36-yard line. The 49ers offense and Brandon Ayuk getting set for this next possession. And he's had some kind of game. They made it a point to get him involved early, and it has paid giant rewards to this stage of the game. The 49er offense set to get this drive underway. Purdy. Now, there are 2 scores on the plus side. Still time here in this 4th quarter, but maybe you start thinking about playing keep away?
Yeah, I think here's the situation. You're not thinking touchdowns anymore. You're just thinking first downs. To keep up with your theme there, playing keep away, first downs, they can't touch the ball.
Ball spotted at the 45. Here's 2nd down and a yard. Here's McCaffrey. And he'll be brought down at the 48-yard line. 51 yards rushing for him now as he's done it on 19 carries.
And this is exactly what you're looking to do offensively. If you can start stringing some runs together like this, you'll keep churning out first downs, and that's going to put you in a great position to carry this one home.
Back to the ground on first. It's McCaffrey. Give him 5 on the carry there, and it'll be 2nd down. Now, I'm guessing you'd say this is kind of the key here. Grind out some yardage, work on that clock, see if you can continue to tick it down.
Definitely, you want to bleed things out at this point, right? Continue to possess the football, gain some yardage, and put the onus on the defense. Do they have to use timeouts? What are they going to do to stop you? You're taking charge.
Again, they run. Again, it's McCaffrey. Trying to bounce it outside, but he's only able to get it back to the line of scrimmage. They'll say no gain on the play there, and now it'll be 3rd down. Defense able to get there, swarm to the football. Zilch, 0 nada there for the offense, Charles.
Yeah, it really was an example of good team defense, wasn't it? Everyone handled their responsibilities, and they held them to no gain.
Throwing here, Purdy. And he will slide to a stop. He does have the 1st down. That one good for 16, and the drive will continue.
Now that's a killer because you think you've got it absolutely covered, and then he hot-foots it out of there and picks up a 1st down. Drives you crazy as a defense.
Looked like, you're exactly right. Looked like a for sure stop on 3rd, and then the tables turned. This time they'll throw it. Here's Purdy. Throw out wide is incomplete.
Offense was moving it a little bit, had them back on their heels, but they earn a brief pause by forcing the incompletion. That gives them a quick chance to regroup and try and mount a stand before they're backed up even further.
So now they'll come up on 2nd and 10, once again from the 28. Looking to throw. Purdy. Oh, he'll want that one back. Incomplete. He doesn't drop too many in that department. 3rd down.
Whenever I see an in-route dropped, as we just saw on that play, I'm always thinking that in the back of their mind, they're worried about what's coming at them because they're going towards traffic on that route as opposed to being away from it and maybe having a little bit more space.
Purdy from the gun on 3rd down. This one into the hands of Kittle, the tight end. And they stop him short of the 1st as he can only get to the 20. So they'll get 8 out of that completion, and that'll bring up 4th down.
I thought maybe when he caught it, he'd have a good chance of getting that 1st down, but that's a nice job of holding him up and preventing him from getting to the sticks.
And the play clock is going to run out here. They're in no hurry to get a play off. So they accept the penalty, of course, and push the offense backwards a bit. So Purdy off and Moody on for the 49er field goal. From the left hash, it's a 42-yard attempt. And his kick here is good. And that will extend their lead even further. So all things considered, that's not the final nail, but it does make things exceedingly difficult now on the other side.
Yeah, because obviously now with a 16-point game, the other guys don't need just 2 touchdowns. They need a couple of 2-point conversions as well. Plus, they'll need either a turnover or an onside kick in there somewhere. So you're just adding to the list of things that need to happen in sequence. And it's going to be a pretty tall order this late in the game.
And the tackle going to be made right there at the 25-yard line. And here comes the Giants offense back out onto the field. See if they can put this drive in the end zone, Charles, because it's been a little bit of a rough go at times. They've had to punt the football a ton in this ball game because of stalled out drives.
So are you saying that you're kind of tired of seeing the punter run out there and do his thing during this game? Is that what you're trying to say?
Well, I mean, I'm okay with it. I have a feeling that this offense, they don't want to see the punter again.
And frankly, the punter doesn't want to run out there anymore himself. He would love to see his offense put together a drive and give his leg a rest.
Now Locke. A short throw pulled in by Bellinger. They get 7 out of that, so they're left with a 3rd and 3. That's a staple of this offense. Drag route to the tight end.
Yeah, he's unable to use his size to break off much more yardage after the catch, but still an effective gain nonetheless.
Here's 3rd and 3. And they'll send the tight end in motion here. Pass taken in by his big tight end. And he will have a Giants first down by about a yard. It's a gain of 5 on 3rd and 4. And in a 2-score game, obviously, every play, every 3rd down, like we saw there, magnified. Big pickup.
It was a huge pickup. What they really want, though, is to not even get to 3rd down. They've got to maximize time and conserve as much as possible.
Block now to throw. Throwing over the middle, and it's incomplete.
I think he's got to be careful not to force anything into coverage right there. There weren't really any throwing lanes, but the best part for him, he's got 2nd and 3rd down to fall back on.
Under 4 to go now as they come up on 2nd down. Here's Locke to throw. Over the middle, caught by Bellinger. And this will be stopped at the 44. That one good for 7 yards.
In this situation, the dictation is coming from the defense, right? They're going to tell you, you can have 6, 7 yards, do that all the way downfield. Let's just go ahead and take the time off the clock. I think they've got to start attacking vertically a lot more.
Locke looks to throw it again. Oh, he had him. He was open, but he couldn't get it to him. It's incomplete.
And I think we'll probably see him go for it here on 4th down. No reason not to. Down a couple of scores, they have to try and make something good happen.
All right, they're going to try and keep hope alive here on 4th down. They're going for it. Now Locke, got to have this one. He's got his target. That's complete. And he's able to get this one out closer to midfield across the 45. The time to pull out the stops is now, and they convert there on 4th down. So this offense able to convert on 4th, and now a fresh set of downs here, 1st and 10. To throw it is Locke. That's complete to Slayton. And he's tackled a yard short of the marker. Good gain of 9 on 1st down. Second down and a little more than a yard here. From the gun, it's Locke. Toward the sideline, and look at that catch. Dragging the toes, and that's going to be a 1st down. Well done. A solid gain of 15 yards, and the sticks move. Clock management, definitely critical here if they want to get back in this game.
Absolutely agreed. They have to up the tempo in this case, down a couple of scores. Want to make sure they have a chance to win this ball game.
Kyle Shanahan doesn't care much for that last call, so out comes the red challenge flag. Did he keep those feet in bounds? That's the question they've got to decide. And I got to say, watching it in real time, it was awfully close.
Yeah, it certainly looked like a heck of a catch because he didn't appear to bobble it, which could complicate things. But even with the benefit of replay, that's pretty tight.
Well, here's the call. So the challenge there does not go their way. This will indeed remain a completed pass. Again, it's Locke. He's got Bellinger. And he'll go down the edge of the red zone following a pickup of about 7 or 8.
Now that's staying ahead of the chains. Really good pickup on first down, hitting the tight end there. Now it brings up a second and manageable.
Just found a hole in that zone. Now a 2nd and 2. Locke gonna throw. Going right side, he finds Slayton. And able to get this down inside the 15 to either the 13 or 14 before he's out of bounds.
A little football 101 there. You just see the receiver try to run down the defender, meaning he goes right at him and really trying to move him a little bit towards the center of the field so he can put his foot in the ground and break to the out, to the sideline, and make a catch.
Tracy going to get it on first down. He's taken down at the 7 after a gain of 7.
That's a strong pickup right there on first down, and as this drive goes on, we're seeing an offensive line and running game imposing its will.
Here's Locke. Nothing open downfield, so he'll throw it away. So it's Giants football here as we welcome you back. They face a 3rd down now as they try to find a late score. Here's Locke. Toward the end zone, but that's going to wind up incomplete.
And let's face it, this defense has had its share of struggles all game long, and they know that they can put it all behind them if they defend well here in the 2-minute drill. Excellent coverage right there to force the incompletion.
Boy, hard to catch your breath. Another big play looming. 4th and 3. Locke. And he's brought down. Can't do anything with a football. It's a sack and a turnover on downs. They had to go for it with such little time remaining. And this long drive is going to wind up yielding nothing. So with that, we can just about close the book on this one, Charles.
Yeah, what's the old expression about slim and none? Well, Slim just left town on that
They're
one.
down to none?
Yes, exactly right.
The 49ers ready to set up shop again offensively. Now they are really in the driver's seat here, enjoying this lead late in the 4th quarter. The defense does have all 3 timeouts, but at this point, doesn't look like it's going to matter much. The Giants going to go ahead and use the first of their timeouts as they'll talk things over prior to this upcoming 2nd down play. He's going to get it again. Just looking to get forward and protect the ball. Now the Giants will use the 2nd of their 3 timeouts as they'll head to the sideline and talk over what to do next. Third and 8. Here's Purdy. Flush to his right. And he will have a Niners first down, and that ought to be the one that seals the victory. Game in hand, the offense takes the knee. Now a give, right side McCaffrey. And hard running's going to get him over the 40 to the 42. 67 yards rushing for him now in the ball game. Charles, why didn't they just take the knee there?
You're asking the question that I'm asking as well, because we've seen a lot of football where coaches decide maybe they get a little greedy. I don't know if they're doing it for stats or for what reason. We've seen it happen in college. And how about in the NFL? The miracle of the Meadowlands. All they had to do was take a knee and the game was over. The Giants ran it one more time. Ball popped free. Philadelphia picks it up and wins the game.
What year was that?
1978. I think it was in November.
So the victory here for San Francisco. And to be frank, Charles, probably not too many people surprised at how this one turned out.
Yeah, I don't think so at all. I mean, they're such a good football team. They were at home. You know, you walked in and you looked at the advantages and you saw that they had most of them. It'd take a lot to try and even it up. I just thought two words for this ball game: methodical and predictable. And both of them came together.
So that's a wrap for Charles Davis. I'm Brandon Gunn. And this has been a presentation of the NFL on EA Sports. For more, check us out at easports.com. The 49ers get the win here at home as we say so long from Santa Clara.